Okay. I'm not sure if it records my screen or just the Zoom, but we'll see.
We'll make do. We'll make do. Okay. Well, first, let me introduce myself. My name is Litzy, and I'm one of the writers for my dog. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Okay. He's walking in and out. I'm sorry. Okay. My name is Litzy, and I'm one of the writers, and I'm one of the people that help manage the social media page for the Meridian newspaper at Lehman College.
Mhm.
And you can introduce yourself.
Well, I'm the president and founder of Club Curls at Lehman. This club had just started actually the fall semester of 2023, and I'm very excited for the future and what's to come with the club.
Hmm. So, what are you a transfer student or you've been here for
No,
a
I've
year?
actually been here since freshman year. I think it was 2021 of the fall.
Oh,
So yeah, but yeah, it's an idea I've had since like sophomore year, and then I decided to do it the beginning of my junior year.
hmm. Um, what's your major?
My major is speech pathology. Yeah, so it's not really related, but it is an interest of mine that I really wanted to pursue and act upon here at Lehman. So I'm glad I did it.
That's nice. What inspired you to start the Curls Club?
So I have a passion for when it comes to curly hair. I love watching tutorials and just small little videos on social media. It's something that I really like and enjoy doing. And I wanted to create a club with other people who were like me, who like watching those videos or have questions about curly hair in general. I just thought it would be a really nice community to have at Lehman.
Mhm.
Especially when I was first introduced to natural hair, I didn't really know anything about it. So I thought that starting a club at Lehman would be nice for other people who were clueless as I was when I first started this natural hair journey.
I completely understand. Because I know from my experience, well, my hair is a little, it's having its oof days because I don't think my curls last that many days, honestly. And I think it depends on what products
Yeah. Yeah.
what I
There's a lot
use.
that comes into it. A lot. And that's what like I want the club to be about, just for people to like understand their type and like different like products to use and like the porosity and all
Mhm.
that.
Oh yeah. So what has your club been doing since it started?
Since we started, we've kind of we're really active on like the social media. Right now, it's taking a little break since I've been like starting with finals and stuff. But
Mhm.
on social media, we try to post as many tips as possible when it comes to hair. Just like certain things that people might not be aware of. During like Black Friday, we post a lot of different sales and just different companies that we trust that we feel that other people could use for their hair. Um Also, we've also had an event where we kind of just like ranted and just talked about our curly hair journeys and just anything that we wanted to get off our chest or what we wanted to come from this club. Um,
Right.
so yeah, with that, I feel like there was a lot. That talk was mainly about like tips, and we were giving each other tips on like locks and like our curly hair and like protective styles. So that's what that event was mainly about. Um, Coming to future events, we want to make uh different like workshops where we can teach people how to like braid for one example, or cornrow, or help with like beginning with protective styles. And also we do want to do awareness events as well, because there's a lot of people don't know about, even people who don't have textured hair, they don't know certain things, certain comments that can be negative, or just things in general that people should know about.
So what was I know you mentioned before about your journey to like your natural hair. So how was that like?
For me, it was interesting. I wasn't aware that my hair could take up a pattern. I kind of grew up assuming that my hair was puffy. I grew up in a Dominican household, so my mother wasn't so aware of her natural hair either. So it was a thing that I had kind of had to discover for myself. I was 14, 15. I actually don't remember the age now anymore. But around that age, I like came across like natural hair and I was just watching like a whole bunch of like YouTube videos. It's a like somewhat cliche story because a lot of people have honestly came across like videos on YouTube and that's how they were introduced to natural hair. But it's honestly been a blessing, like other people teaching other people online, you know. But either way, yeah, so I found some videos online and I realized, oh, I can actually like start building this pattern. And I started buying the products that I needed and I started doing the routines. I started deep conditioning. I was using like certain shampoos that were better for curly hair. And then eventually my hair started taking up this pattern. I was like, oh my God, like this, I have natural hair. And it's something I've carried with me since, and I teach other people about it whenever I get the chance to.
Hmm. I could definitely relate. I'm half Dominican, but I feel like it was common for us to even go to like salons.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Like I
grew up.
know my first memory was like sitting on like a little like cushion because I couldn't reach the sink.
Yeah,
And they used to blow dry my hair. And then I
yeah,
know at one point it was like curly and then it was like straight at the bottom.
yeah.
And at one point it was because like, and I definitely relate to your story because I feel like my mom has textured hair, but I don't know her like curl type because
Mhm.
she's always like relaxing it or dyeing it. So
Yeah,
I would never know.
yeah,
And I think she could put that on us because she didn't know how to do our hair either. So
yeah.
she just stuck with like doing rolos or just putting it into braids because I don't think she understood how to like do our hair either. And I feel like that's like passed down
Hmm.
in a way.
It is, honestly. And I don't blame them for it. It's just like that's what they grew up with. They think that straight hair is like beautiful and it's easier to do. And so they just grew up straightening their hair and then they're obviously going to pass that on to their child because that's all they know. But it's so crazy too, because I actually never seen my mother's curl pattern until actually the pandemic. She decided to like give natural like a go a little bit and she like started to develop her curl pattern. I was like, oh my gosh, like I've never seen you with curly hair before, you know, and it was actually really beautiful. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally relate because my grandmother, she went through like chemo, but then when she grew her hair, it turned to like an afro. But I'm like, I like it. And I
Yeah.
feel like they weren't taught at a young age where your
Hmm.
hair is beautiful the way it is. You don't have to like straighten it for it to be
Yeah.
considered like beautiful. And I
Yeah.
feel like that was like one of the major problems
Yeah.
was like they don't embrace their natural hair because they don't understand it.
Yeah, that's unfortunately like a beauty standard that's like very popular in a lot of cultures. And that's like
Mhm.
also what this club wants to do when it comes to like awareness. We want to teach people that, you know, like curly hair is beautiful. It's not just messy. It's not something that's like unattractive, you know? Um, so yeah, it is honestly sad that like a lot of people still believe that way, but that's what I want this club to do to undo like thinkings like that.
Mm. So how do you reach out to those who say, I think I want to go on my natural hair journey, but I don't know where to start.
Yeah. So I actually created this like uh work, how do you call it, it was a cheat sheet, that's what I call it, and it was like
Hmm.
basically a whole bunch of like tips and like basically how like where to start. There's different, something about the natural hair journey is just you're gonna find like different methods and different ways of going about things. Everybody does something differently, and with that club we recognize that and we tell people to do what uh is best for your hair. So we'll give you multiple methods to choose from, and from that it's kind of just trial and error. That's what the natural hair journey honestly is about, is trial.
Yeah.
You have to try things and see what's good for your hair and take things out, and then you know you'll just like start to develop a routine. But yeah, it's kind of just trial and error. So we had actually handed those cheat sheets to people and like we were just telling them like you can like follow this routine and like go by it. And if you feel like isn't what's best for your hair, if you feel like your hair is still like frizzy or your hair is not defining as much, you know, switch things out, you know. I actually did have somebody during the club fair come up to me and like had said like those exact words actually. And she was like, "Oh, like I want to start and I don't know where." And I was just giving her tips and telling her, you know, just to start with like eliminating heat and just washing your hair weekly. And I suggested some like products or like some lines that she can use. And also suggested to deep condition her hair weekly. So yeah, that's usually what we would say to people if they like are interested, and they'll come with like questions like that.
So do you remember your trial and error? Like, how was that your experience for the trial and error?
Mm, For my trial and error, it was like I kind of it kind of had to do with like texturism in a way, just because I found myself defeated at certain points because I expected my hair to develop into like some like loose curl pattern. I kind of had to accept the fact that I have tight curls, and tight curls are beautiful, you know? And so I found myself before like trying to manipulate my hair into ways that like would resemble loose curls, but once I like let go of that, my hair was able to flourish more. I remember using these specific brushes that were not meant for my hair and that would tear my hair up, but I liked it because I felt that it resembled somewhat like after brushing it, like it resembled more of like 3C curl patterns. But once I like realized that and accepted that I have tight curls and it's not going to resemble 3C, I started doing things that were better for my hair, and my hair started to flourish more with that.
Hmm. So do you remember like, because I know for me, I was like trying to go through like mad like products,
Mm-hmm.
but have you ever made like a homemade hair mask?
Yes, I have. My mom actually like, cause she saw that I was frustrated at certain points, and she would try to like help as much as she could. And would like create like avocado mask and like egg, I think it was, and mayo, and it was just honestly really smelly. I am not too much of a big fan when it comes to like homemade hair masks, just because it's just been messy for me. But a lot of people like swear by it and feel like it's really helped their hair. I think like even Cardi B like posted like a hair mask of like with avocado, and she swears by it, saying that her hair like it really helped her hair. So again, it kind of just goes back to like whatever's best for your hair, just do that. But yeah, there's been a lot of trial error, even with like different, I still say like I honestly would stick by saying that like most part, like the curly hair journey, like is trial and error in general. There's gonna be new products that you're gonna want to try and stuff. But like if it's not best for your hair, definitely just kick it out of like the routine. Like with
Mm.
Cantu, I remember it was like really popular at a certain point,
Oh
and then
my God.
everybody
Yes.
realized how frizzy it was making your hair once we stopped. And I was like, oh my gosh, my hair was so frizzy before, and I didn't realize that that was the Cantu. But yeah, it's just trial and error.
Yeah, because I had used the Cantu mousse because I was like, yeah, let me use the mousse because I want my hair to like frizz out a little bit, but I didn't realize how bad it was because it dried up my hair. Like
Yeah,
it was bad. Like it just left my head crumbling. I'm like, oh my God.
yeah.
But what products would you say works for you?
What?
What products worked for you?
Currently I really like Miel. Miel's a really good one. I like
Yeah.
Melrose. I like this one isn't talked about so much, but a good amount of people use it. It's like African Pride, the Moisture Miracle line. All those products are super, super good, especially the pre-poo. It detangles so good. I don't know if you ever used it before, but it's amazing for like before shampooing and your hair's like super like tangled and stuff. Like that literally is amazing. But I really like those specific brands. I also somewhat use Sheer Moisture, but yeah.
I used to use Shea Moisture, and I don't know what happened that it changed. Like I
No,
used to go and I'm like,
it's
Shea
bad.
Moisture, I love it. But now it's just, I don't know what happened to that product that is just not what it used to be.
It's super bad because there's a lot of different like switching of ownerships of companies, and they'll
Hmm.
go from like one owner to the other, and the like new owner won't prior to certain things, and ingredients actually change. Like from Sheer Moisture, like people have seen that their ingredient list has changed, and that's what like has caused their hair to like react differently with the product, which is really unfortunate. And yeah, it's just really bad.
So let's say somebody wanted to join the Crows Club. How would they reach out?
They can reach out by either DMing us or requesting a membership through the Club Central website. And you'll either receive a DM back or an email and just of like a welcoming.
Hmm. So when you started the club, let me see. Because I know when people start clubs, they're like always wondering like if people are gonna join. Did you have hope? Like, did you have high expectations, or were you like, okay, just see where this goes?
Um, I I understood that there's a lot of people on Lehman who have curly hair. Like there's a good proportion, most of us are ethnic, but I don't know. I was a bit nervous when starting because I wasn't sure if other people would understand what comes of this club and like the importance of it. I still have
Mhm.
people kind of like doubting it and just like not really understanding what was the purpose of my club, but the sole purpose is just to create like a curly hair community and just be able to give each other. I plan on giving like giveaways like of curly hair products and just tutorials for people to like just help with their curly hair. But some people just don't understand that. And I think that comes with the awareness of like curly hair is something that we have to maintain and it can be difficult when we first start. But yeah, I wasn't sure because I understood that it was like a niche thing somewhat. But I've been very satisfied with the results of like people, like we have over 40 people right now, I think, in our like WhatsApp group chat who solely just from like the club fair had like came to us and said, oh, I want to be added. Like I want to be part of this. So I think it's been great so far, honestly, the support that we've gotten from this club. And it's only just beginning.
That's not bad. 40 people? That's actually pretty good start when you have. So, what's the next question? So, like, what do you expect in the future with your club? Like, where do you see your club going, let's say, by next semester?
I want to start off the semester, hopefully, if we are able to get the permissions because we're still working out the details, but I want to start the semester with an awareness-based event where we watch a documentary of excuse me, the woman who made the first hair product, Mary C.J. Bilge. um I want to watch a documentary in regards to her. It's a little bit hard finding documentaries, but yeah, just to start off Black History Month with
Yeah.
awareness. And she's like the first American woman to have started that, and it's such a huge thing that I want other people on campus to be aware of. So it'll be a documentary and people can come and watch and enjoy refreshments while also like becoming aware and educated on this topic.
Hmm. Because it sounds familiar. Is she the one that started selling it for like, I think like, was it like 10 cents to like have it like, I think it was
Yeah.
like a relaxer, like the first start of the relaxer. And then
Yeah.
she was selling it door to door.
It wasn't a relaxer. It was more for like just like hair products in general, like for the like textured hair. But
Hmm.
yeah, she was like the first person. It was very cheap at first. Of course, it's cheap
Yeah.
since then. But yeah, I just think it would be really nice for other people to be aware of and like learn about. Like a lot of people don't learn about it. I never knew about it until actually like my freshman year when I took an African American history course and they had like briefly mentioned her and I was like, oh, that's so cool. So yeah.
Hmm. What else? So what advice would you give somebody that's, I don't know, did I ask that already? Like what advice would you give somebody that's starting out on their hair, like on their curly hair journey, or somebody that wants to be, how do you say it, like knowledgeable?
Mm-hmm. Well,
If that makes sense.
yeah, I would suggest them to like watch YouTube videos and to hmm to not compare themselves or have certain expectations of their hair based on like other people. I know that it can be discouraging if you are trying to work towards this one goal of this person's hair, but in reality that isn't you. That can be very discouraging. So I would suggest to not really like compare and try to expect of anything, but just do what's best for your hair. Be consistent is another thing. You have to be very consistent and weekly. I know that it can be really hard, especially with wash days and you're really tired, you don't want to do it. But if you're consistent, the results will show and they will show in time for sure. So yeah, and then I would also suggest to watch YouTube videos on people that you start once you start developing your curl pattern and noticing what type your hair is or porosity. I would suggest watching videos in regards to those specific things and needs of your hair, so that way your recommendations will better align with um the recommendations will align most likely with your hair. So yeah.
Mm. So what if somebody doesn't know their curl pattern? How would they figure out like, okay, this is the curl pattern I have? Because I know that there's people that have like more than one curl pattern.
Hmm. It can be tricky. The chart itself, it's very categorical and it can be a little bit difficult just because like I wouldn't say everybody's hair specifically aligns with like one or either of them. I would say like the general type you can kind of categorize, but then once we get into like A, B, C, it starts getting
Mm,
difficult. I would say that as long as you know this like type general of one, two, three, or four hair, I think you would be fine with that. Like once we start like if you focus too much on there, like I don't really think there's in my opinion, I don't think there's any benefit into knowing the specific like A, B, or C just because like it doesn't change too many things. As long as you know your type, because type 4 hair tends to like do better with like heavier products, but um knowing A, B, or C, I don't think it changes too much on that, in my opinion. But
that's
yeah.
interesting. Wow. Because I know that there was a curls club when I saw it, and I'm like, that's interesting because I'm like, that's it's different, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
And I
Yeah.
was caught like I was like, oh, a curl club? I'm like, when was this? Because I'm already in the Meridian for the newspaper. And I thought this was so interesting. I'm like, no, I have to like get an interview and know what's going on here. Because I'm like, that's new. Like I know everyone was like in a different club, but this club, I it was like, how do you say it? Like I never like saw you guys. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I want to bring awareness to like, okay, there's a club for curls, everybody.
Yeah,
Like
I
here we
really
go.
appreciate that, honestly. I feel like this would shout out and like help give out the word that this is a club and like what we do. Um, so yeah, and I feel like we could support a lot of people on campus and hopefully we're able to with like the means of like the support of the student life government. But yeah, I
So
think
you kind of broke out.
connection cut out. But you're not the first person to have like come to me and like say, "Oh, this is like different. This is like like a bit like it stands out a little bit, just because like everybody
Yeah.
else's books kind of have to do like certain subjects and stuff, like kind of pertaining to education, but then we also have like other recreational things that are a bit more like you would expect, but like yeah, I think it is different and we embrace it honestly. It has to do with a trait that people have. So that's why it's a bit different.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm like, Curl Club is like completely different. I'm like, this is new. And I
Mhm.
was like, I have to like know about it. And then I have a friend there's somebody that I know that's in the club. And then that's why I saw it. I'm like, oh, this is nice. So I was like looking around. I'm like, no, I have to talk about this. And I spoke to my group because we're like the subcommittee in the organization we're in. And we handle the social media stuff. And I
Mhm.
told him, I'm like, no, I'm getting an interview. I have to know about this. This is like completely like different. Because I'm like, is everybody like everything is like academic based, if you
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like everything's like school based, but this one's
Yeah.
like, this is personal. This is like a personal thing. This is hair. Hair is everything. And and I think it's interesting that like I'm assuming already, but I know you guys probably talked about the Crown Act
Yeah,
that's
that
happening
was
in
something
different
that I did
states.
discuss when we talked about like when people ask questions about like what do you mean like with awareness when like people would come up to me us during like the club fair and stuff, and I was just kind of explaining to them like we want to talk about specifically the Crown Act but also like texturism and how it
Hmm.
affects certain like cultures and stuff. So those are like things that we want to touch on and like kind of have like certain things on campus to pull people's eyes and be like, oh, like that is texturism. Like people don't even know like the word. Like when you say texturism, people are just like, what is that? And it's just like a lot of times I find myself explaining it, but it's like a good thing, honestly, because I'm educating other people and like it's creating awareness.
Yeah, that too. And recently, and I thought, I don't know if you heard about it, but I thought it was pretty interesting. So like in the industry, when you do like acting and stuff, they don't know how to do like curly hair types, but now
Yeah.
they're making it a curriculum and like the beauty industry on how to do textured hair. I don't know, you guys been open for like years
And
and
it's
now
just
it's, oh yeah, let's finally learn how to do this. I'm like, what?
yeah, it's honestly really sad. I've seen videos of like models complaining about like the hairstylist not being able to do their hair, but like knowing how to do everybody else's hair. And it's just like different industries, honestly, that don't pertain to curly hair. Like people who are in competitive dancing, they have to like with their curly hair, a lot of times they find themselves having to straighten their hair every week because like they don't accept curly hair types or curly hair like styles in the like way that they do them, you know what I mean? So it's just like there's no consideration for curly hair. That's the problem. And it's just like
Mhm.
that's that's something that needs to be like talked about.
Same thing in sports too, because I know that like I don't know if you remember seeing a video of a little girl, she had like box braids with like beads on it.
Mm.
And they were like, it's distracting. So her teammates had to help her take it off, like take off like the beads and stuff. Like I noticed that a lot. I'm like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, see, that shouldn't be. It's honestly really sad. Like there needs to be a lot of education, honestly. There's a lot to be done, honestly. And that's why I just wanted to start at least here on this campus.
That's cool. Like I'm really happy for the Curls Club because I'm like, this is something that's personal and that's something that people can relate. Like a lot of us can say, okay, we're running out of time. Okay. Um, but I want to thank you for this interview. I hope you send it to me.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah.
But I specifically asked to interview this club specific because personally, like my hair is like right now it's in its oof phase, but I really I want to thank you really just to having the club in general because I feel like not a lot of college campuses have curls club if that makes sense
Yeah.
that I'm aware of, but I feel like this one is just a start
Yeah.
for a lot of other campuses to like, oh yeah, we should have the same thing, like educate our hair because we didn't have that opportunity when we were younger. And I
Mhm.
feel like it's like passed down from like grandmother, great grandmother
Yeah.
down because they don't know how to manage their hair. And because of beauty standards, like, oh, if your hair is not like straight or wavy, then it's not like good enough. And it's ridiculous because I'm like, you're putting harsh chemicals in your body when you're doing relaxers and nobody's taking consideration on that.
Yeah, honestly. And I want to say thank you for like showing interest in this. I something that really encouraged me to start this was understanding that like this is something that not only I believe in. And
Mhm.
I remember taking this woman in Latin American class and basically we were like finding ourselves having these like rants almost during class about like
Yeah.
natural and specifically like all like Dominican women. We're just talking about yeah, like they were calling me like but they were saying that oh I have pelo malo and like all these other
Mhm.
like that. And it's just like so much that can be talked about here and so much things that we can do with this. And I was just like, yeah, I can definitely start this club and I know that people like can relate to this. So that's what this club is
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, because I didn't know about the Curls Club, and I'm like, I love it. I'm like, I hear about, it, I'm like, I love it already. That's why I was like, I have to bring awareness to this because I'm like, everybody has to know about this club because I'm like, there's no way there's a Curls Club and not that people know about it. I'm like, no. So we have a social media page that we post it on. I might do an art. I probably do an article. I don't know. Depending on what they ask me to do. But so far, we're gonna add this to our social media and share it around,
Thank
and I'll
you.
probably put it on my Instagram.
Thank you. I really appreciate
Yeah, and if anything, if you want me to cover any events from your club, just reach out to me. I mean, you have my number, so you could just reach out
yeah.
to me and I can go there and
And you work as a photographer as well too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool.
So if anything, you can always reach out to me, be like, oh, we want somebody to cover our event. Reach out to me.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hold on, let me. Well,